Welcome back to the ASTRONUATS Rocket League 3v3 powered by Beyond Entertainment and Astro Gaming. We are back with the grand final. We're getting this match set up, but let me break down the teams a little bit here. So we've got Birds and the Beez, who we saw in a solid first semifinal. And of course, that team features Roldiz, Ajax, and Hoxer. Their opponents today, going to be Tequeño, that delicious snack that they are, featuring First Killer, Chronic, and Joe Freshness. I mean, their gameplay looked delicious. I will give them that.
Oh, yeah.
I love what I saw out of Chronic, though, because that was like one of those, I don't want to say wild card, but it's like one of those new players. Like, okay, how are they going to gel? What do they bring into the squad? How's everything going to line up? And we mentioned that, like, with teams, like, if one little piece of the puzzle isn't necessarily lining up great, it can be detrimental. We saw that a little bit with Afterthought. Things just didn't seem to be clicking all at the same time there. But Chronic seems to fit in just fine. When you take First Killer and then you make a second one, yeah, things can look pretty good.
It's about right, actually. Chronic is he's just. Oh, I want to say he's like a free spirit Rocket League player.
That's so beautiful. Graceful, free spirits, man. I love the attitude today.
He cares, and he's smart about it. Mm-hmm. But when it's time to go, he just lets it go. He doesn't care how it looks. He doesn't care if it's the most graceful thing anyone's ever seen. He just makes it happen.
Yeah.
However it takes to do that, and he does it with his own style and flow. And that works really well with both Joe Freshness and First Killer. Mm-hmm. But that said, going up against an established team in Birds and the Beez. And Birds and the Beez, a little more formulaic, but still that free-flowing style in that they can change the way that they attack a play on the fly. As things change, they move with it. Mm-hmm. So I almost want to say that this will be one of those situations, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object type thing.
Yeah.
Which, in a grand final, with $2 grand on the line, what more can you ask for, especially on a Monday evening?
I've certainly had worse Mondays. I'll tell you that. This one's up there for sure. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's sort of that like a tug of war. It's going to be Birds and the Beez. We know they're solid. We know they're seasoned. But it's like, can you adjust to Tequeño? Like we saw that a little bit with Afterthought. Just they had to make the adjustments, and they couldn't necessarily do it as cleanly as maybe they needed to, or as rapidly as they needed to. So yeah, you've got these two play styles. We've seen them both in the semifinals. We know a little bit what to expect out of each team, but it's how do they clash? How do things line up against each other? We know the players to look for. We know Ajax has made great plays, great shots, but now we've seen First Killer. We know what to expect out of him. Now he's got some backup. He's got a little bit of a plan B with Chronic. We know he can make some stuff happen too. So yeah, it's like a battle. It's okay. Where's the dust all gonna settle as we get this kickoff underway here? Again, grand finals, best of 7. First place gonna be walking home with $1,500, and Roldiz has his eyes on the money with that goal.
He's got his eyes on the price for sure here as Chronic gets a little bit of a touch. Hoxer just hassling, and Roldiz coming in from the other side, sees the play develop, and honestly just moves the ball towards the net. It didn't look like he was really necessarily trying to score per se with all of that pressure in the net. It just perfect shot, and that's how it worked out. We have another kickoff. Hoxer, very much the same situation as it goes off the ceiling. Chronic is there, though. Nobody goes for it as Roldiz stopped by Chronic. Ajax does scramble back, though, and off the corner we go, or off the wall, I should say. First Killer right there, but so is Joe Freshness. And we're seeing a bit of a double commit by Tequeño on the defense as Hoxer goes off of the backboard towards the corner. This is a beautiful touch, actually, as Hoxer coming off the ceiling now. A little bit low on boost, it seems, so First Killer will pick up. The first minute just about elapsed here. Roldiz off his own backboard, looking for Hoxer, but Chronic reads it well, keeps the play alive. Now Ajax moving on down. It'll be Joe Freshness over to First Killer, trying to pop this down. He's going to go off the backboard. Can he get the double? No, Hoxer is there again. And the coverage by both teams is astounding. Although 1v1, Hoxer on Joe Freshness. First Killer gets in the way, and that's enough to just tumble Hoxer into the corner. And that will kind of stall out the play here. A bit of a triple commit here for Birds and Beez.
Yeah. action coming from every angle between these two squads. And I got to wonder, like we saw, okay, here comes First Killer. Can he get this one in?
Oh, what a demo.
Yeah, big demo. I was going to say, I think we saw Tequeño setting up a lot of those double taps into the dunks too. So got to wonder if Birds and the Bees kind of knows what to expect a little bit now and can change that up, make Tequeño work just a little bit harder for the plays that they seem to want to make so frequently. And Roldis has been doing a great job keeping this pressure on, but here we go. Chronic trying to get something going for Tequeño. Joe Freshness tries to be that backup. We see First Killer soaring high. Freshness with the touch towards that blue goal. Ajax back on defense, ready for whatever Tequeño is going to be throwing at him. And here we see Roldis being great in this transition. Hoxer now with the tap, keeping things on the orange side. First Killer tries to fight Roldis for that one. Chronic to Joe Freshness. Nothing develops out of that. Chronic trying to keep persistent with it though.
Yeah, and you can see Birds and Bees being tenacious for sure. Pass up. Roldis was there, but First Killer must have just spotted the play. And I know First Killer actually uses what would be the Y button on an Xbox or the top button. What is it on a PlayStation controller? I don't have it handy. Oh, God.
Triangle. I have it right here.
Thank you. Triangle. Yes. To change the camera and make sure he knows what's in front of his car as well. So he's keeping an eye on everyone. And that's a massive skill to have. And First Killer, one of the best at it, knowing where everyone is on the pitch at all times. A bump again. Hoxer just getting clobbered by two people. A double check.
Yeah, check that man's neck. He might have some serious whiplash going on after that one.
No kidding. Got to replace the hockey helmet for sure. Joe Freshness will pop this one in. An awkward play here for Ajax. That was an odd one coming off the ceiling like that.
Yeah, he just kind of read that one. And it's one of those things like we mentioned that commitment. Just stay there. Get the goal. Let's tie it up 1-1 under 2 minutes remaining now.
And sure enough, it takes something slightly random for Tequeño to get on the board. It's not flashy, but it works. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. I love the scrappy play style, man. I got to say I'm a fan of it. There's like that refined palette. It's like, oh, this goes so good with this, and this is what we want to look for here. But there's something just fun to watch. I mean, like when you're watching Tequeño play, it's fun. They look like they're having a good time out there, which I think translates, to the viewer, certainly translates to me. It's because it adds a little bit of that randomness. It's like, it's not lining up perfectly, but we'll see if they can make something work like that! Like that!
What is this? Ajax right here. Ajax trying to cover, realizing he's going to have to make a touch here, and he just gets something on it. And so Joe Freshness and Hoxer that was Chronic, both just attack the ball. And again, to kind of bring this back to ball sports, if you will, if you follow volleyball at all, you just cover the clear. As Hoxer might have an open net here. Chronic getting involved. It's just popped up enough for First Killer to get there just in time. That would have been one of the slowest goals we've ever seen, especially here at Beyond, as Joe Freshness moves this one ahead, looking for First Killer. Pass up. Now a pass over. Nobody there. Hoxer pops this one high. Chronic is back. They're just defending the net, making sure that Birds and Bees don't get anywhere near that side of the pitch as Joe Freshness towards the net.
Okay, Joe, what do you got for us this time?
No, he's not going to do it. That's the time. It's not the time to necessarily go for a shot, especially if you know you're not going to make it. Don't allow Birds and Bees a chance to get down to the other side. And when they do, they have someone there to cover at all times. 30-second timer goes off.
All right. Big stuff. Can First Killer keep this one defensive? Good clear from Chronic. Nice save out of him. We've seen him on offense. Yeah, thankfully he was there that time on defense. And here comes, Chronic again zooming through, trying to keep this one on the blue side. 10 seconds now remaining. Birds and the Bees need this goal to tie it up and force an overtime. First Killer sends this one away. It's going to be Roldis getting hopeful. Ball now cleared out again. Hoxer off the spoiler. Joe Freshness is there, and that's going to be a touchdown. And Tequeño taking game one. Too many T words on that one.
Right. But close game all around, I think. Birds and Bees definitely had their hands full. They weren't quite sure what to do with Tequeño, and Tequeño coming off a huge win as well. And Tequeño kept up the same thing. They're just playing fast and loose and just playing to play.
Yeah.
They don't care about form. It's all about function.
Results.
And they get it done. Results.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
I got a shot.
Birds and Bees,
go ahead.
Birds and Bees are a little bit more of a cohesive unit. They work as one, and Tequeño is kind of mixing that up. And so Birds and Bees, I think the lesson that they're going to learn from here is that they also need to play a little bit more free. They need to just feel the Rocket League.
Yeah. Let the Rocket League flow through you.
Run through the meadow with butterflies flying around. And
they got the name.
Flying at your face.
Yeah, Birds and the Bees all caught in the windshield on this one. Just a quick shot. I gotta.
That's beautiful.
Not bad. We're getting the hang of this thing. Ajax tries to put one on there, but I just gotta mention the second goal out of Joe Freshness. I've never seen someone parallel park into a goal before, so that was something that was very unique to see. And yeah, just like almost like the street ball version of Rocket League is what Tequeño is playing right now. So definitely fun. They're keeping it fresh. The action is fast, and you love it. It's great stuff. And here comes Roll Diz. A little bit of a contest there. Chronic trying to dive down on this one. Ajax with a touch. A fight at midfield. First killer zooms across. Will that one find the net?
What is that angle? What? Wait, hang on. No. Where's my protractor?
That's what I was going to say.
It's like 175 degrees.
There was no room for error on that one. He's just like...
What in the world?
But the thing is, it looks so natural for him, too. It's just like confident. It doesn't even look forced. He's just... Like, yeah, this is a shot on goal, and you're like, first killer, what do you mean? You have like 2 degrees of freedom on that one. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. And then he gets it. You love to see it. It's so much fun.
It's been so long since we've seen first killer in this kind of form, and they're unstoppable. Birds and Bees got their work cut out for him for sure. I mean, they could still do this, obviously. Never the end until it really is, but I mean, Hawks are trying to put something together, and this is one of those kind of and it seems like Birds and Bees need to build on a generic play a little bit. They need something to build on, and the frenetic energy of Tequeño is not allowing that at all.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things like Tequeño seems to be controlling almost not even the pace, but like the play style of Rocket League right now. And that might not be Birds and the Bees style. It's not one of those things like if you can't beat them, join them. No, play your game. Make sure, like, refine what you're trying to do. Don't try to match what First Killer, Chronic, and Joe Freshness are doing because it's definitely unorthodox. And they might just be comfortable playing that. Don't try to force something that's going to make you play in an uncomfortable style. Stick to your game plan. Make sure, like, exhaust all options first before you start trying to get Tequeño wild with it. Because, I mean, the way that First Killer and Chronic have just been, I don't want to say showing off, but what they've been able to put on display has been something unique and something we haven't really seen that often.
Joe. Ajax got there just in time. That could have been an important demo as well as Roldis pops up here. Hawkser gets first killer out of the way, and Chronic gets just enough. Ajax right back
again.
Pops it right back down, and we've hit the halftime mark. Now Joe Freshness and Chronic aren't quite sure what to do next. It just had like 5 shots come right at him. Now Hawks are involved, and Chronic pops up. It'll be Roldis and Chronic. They both whiff, but Chronic is right there, keeps control on it. Ajax, this is some slow play here in the midfield as Joe Freshness and Hawks are get in each other's faces. Hawkser trying to pop this down to Roldis, but First Killer reads the play well, and now it's First Killer and to Ajax. We've seen that before, and Ajax will win that exchange, but Chronic is right there off of the sidewall. Roldis demoing First Killer, trying to open up some sort of option here. First Killer takes... Oh my God, it was Joe Freshness on Chronic. I'm sorry. Obviously, the styles are clashing.
Yeah, it's like everyone can do everything. Yeah, everybody love everybody out there. But I mean, I love what Tequeño is bringing right now. It's one of those things like where every time Tequeño gets a touch, every time they're in possession of the ball, your eyes go wide, you scoot a little bit more forward on your seat, you're excited about what they're gonna do next, and that's like the best version of Rocket League. Like when every touch is exciting, just because of what a team is bringing to the table, that is just peak form right there.
Birds and Bees had a chance right here, but they might have another one, and this goes off the crossbar. Chronic barely getting something on, and that sends it towards the midfield as Hawkser and Chronic clash. It'll be Ajax out of the corner. Nobody there to help him out, though. Roldis did wisely stay back, I should say, as First Killer pops this up. Roldis challenging in midair. First Killer again out of the corner, just trying to keep pressure alive as less than a minute and a half left on the clock. It'll be Ajax pushing up above 1. Chronic is there, and it's just enough pushing off the backboard. Hawkser tries for a pass as First Killer gets in the way. Chronic right there reads it perfectly, and Ajax just drops it down, trying to buy his team a little bit of time to get involved. As Roldis pops up after Hawkster.
Can he find it? There it is!
In front of First Killer, and it's enough. The defense not holding. Finally, Birds and Bees are on the board.
Man, great stuff out of Birds and Bees finding that one, because Tequeño, while they look so offensive, they're doing just as good getting back and covering the net. So, yeah, to squeak that one by him was big. But here comes First Killer. Ooh, baby.
Oh, God, this is a big mistake by Birds and Bees right here. Hawkster goes up for the kickoff, trying to play this one off of Ajax, and Ajax could not kill it. Hawkster just too close on the cheat up. And Tequeño will take that. And I don't blame him. It's a 2-goal lead again here for Tequeño, and just over a minute left in this game as Roldis trying something fancy. I don't know, something like his controller might have screwed up a little bit. Somebody get that man an Astro C40. What is going on here?
Do it. We'll talk about the August giveaway at the end here, Ninja Rider. Don't worry. But yeah, like, nice. Thank you. Yeah, like, it's one of those things, like, every time Birds and the Bees looks like they've caught up to Tequeño moves that goalpost just a little bit farther forward. Like that First Killer goal just off the rip. We're like, okay, 1 goal down. They can make this happen.
Wait. No, First Killer. Well, look at that. Oh, my God.
Touch again.
There's just so much patience by First Killer. And then when he commits to a touch, he makes it happen. It's sheer skill is on display once again, and it's refreshing. It seemed like he was in a bit of a slump there for a couple of months, and now he's playing so free and just playing with it. He's not worried about anything anymore. It's beautiful. It's great. You can just tell, like, there's no hesitation in his game right now. He's just,
fully committed and fully confident, and it's showing. And it's carrying over to all of Tequeño, because they're about to take game number 2 up against Birds and the Bees.
We might be seeing a paradigm shift within Rocket League right now.
Yeah, it's fun to see, and I don't really want to, if you follow other games at all, like just the beyond kind of in the Astronauts and with sponsors from Astro Gaming, we've kind of seen this like happen before. Like things kind of happen at that mid-tier level that slowly worked their way up. We saw it in Halo with a player called Shotzi, who was a player who moved so fast. He moved differently than every other player and ended up shifting the meta. So yeah, you gotta wonder if that's something that you start to see bubbling up here with this gameplay. Because yeah, you talk about, it's all about this rotation, you want to be in this position, but Chronic and First Killer, they bring something different to that formula. They mix things up a little bit. They're combining ingredients in different ways, and yeah, we'll have to see where everything settles at the end of it, but I mean, the least you can say is it's fun to watch, and now we just got to see if it sticks.
And Birds and Bees, mind you, they're one of those pioneers as well. They changed up how the top tier plays. Birds and Bees can take on any of the top tier guys and completely baffle them at times. So Tequeño is kind of giving them a little bit of their own medicine.
Yeah.
So now it comes down to Birds and Bees. They're going to have to reach back into that time when they first formed, when they were just playing to play and playing to have fun.
Yeah, relax a little bit. You get too stressed, you get in your head a little bit too much,
And that's the hard part in situations like this. You have to allow yourself to spin free, if you will, to quote a very famous song.
We're all about the songs today. But yeah, it's almost like that, if you've heard of like the flow state, like where you're just playing, like you're just letting things happen. You're in the now. You can kind of tell, like we saw it with Afterthought. You could tell they were in their head, like it was very visible that they were consciously trying to make adjustments. But sometimes you just got to be in the moment. Let the game happen and just react to what's around you. Don't try to force it. Because we see that's what Tequeño's playing like. Like they're just in the moment playing Rocket League, having a ball out there and just letting the game come to them and just being in that moment, making plays that they see opening up as they happen. So while you might not necessarily be able to match the style or exactly the way that they're approaching the game, it's the mindset at the same time. It's a big mindset.
Here we go, Ajax, a bullet!
Okay.
Ajax with the bullet gets a great pass from his teammates. Let's just rewatch this right here. His First Killer, not a great touch, but, just trying to keep it away, and Hawkster was right there, just pounced on it, and Ajax playing a little bit forward than he normally would, receives the pass, finds the angle, and absolutely slams that home. Birds and Bees are here to play.
Yeah, here they are showing up, and like we mentioned in the 2v2 last week, sometimes it's tough. It seems that First Killer almost, like we were mentioning, gets in his head a little bit when they're down a goal, tries to make something happen here. So we'll see with an extra teammate in his back pocket if that takes some of the pressure off him, because I think he does feel that pressure a little bit playing from behind. But they've just been playing so well. I think we'll have to see how he responds. That could have been something big. As Roldis. Yeah.
I think to your point, I think that kind of comes down actually to Joe Freshness, who is a little bit more reserved in his play style.
Yeah.
He likes to kind of play back and be the playmaker and read plays. He lets the game come to him, sure, yeah, but he'll set up the guys for something interesting. And so it's going to come down to Joe Freshness to realize that, hey, maybe First Killer's a little bit in his head. Give him a moment. Chronic will step up, I'm sure, and Joe Freshness is starting to get a little bit more involved.
Yeah.
And so they've played together enough to know how that's going to react in each other's heads. So First Killer right here, you can see he's not necessarily going for some crazy touches. He's actually mixing it up just a touch. Hawks are waiting for it. Birds and Bees kind of waiting for the reaction of Tequeño, and I think that's very smart of them. They're not playing necessarily in their heads, but they're playing. They're still playing fast and loose, but they're also letting the game kind of come to them as well.
Yeah.
So it's starting to kind of congeal into this, into a hell of a grand final. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Demo coming out of Ajax on Joe Freshness, but yeah, I love the point you made. Like in a 2v2, it's kind of like, okay, if you're left out to dry, if you're the one having to make all the plays, that's a lot of pressure. But 3v3, and when you got a guy like Joe Freshness on your side, it takes some of that pressure off. And we'll have to see a little bit of a quiet game coming out of Chronic here as Ajax goes back-to-back with the goals. 2-0 lead now for Birds and the Bees.
And again, kind of an odd touch from Chronic. He tried to follow that up off of Ajax, but Ajax just moving this one towards the net. Yeah, First Killer just couldn't get there in time. In fact, it bounced off of First Killer and into the net. So, one of those will take that kind of moments, but Birds and Bees counting their blessings right now as they are 2-0 down in the series. This one towards the net. Hawkster is there for the decently easy save. It's Roldis and Ajax. Ajax backs off. Hawkster popped up here looking for Roldis. Roldis towards the net. First Killer reads it perfectly. Nice and patient. Forces Hawkster to get involved again on the sideboard there. Joe Freshness up to First Killer. Popped up. This should be for Chronic, but Joe Freshness is there. I think Chronic maybe should have taken that touch, but Chronic pushing this one towards the side, buying his teammates some time. Hawkster dunk, and just about a minute and a half left here. Birds and Bees definitely slowing down the pace, keeping the ball on the offensive end. If they can take a shot, they take it. Is this one off the crossbar? Rolled is just a touch off, but still stopping the play, forcing Tequeño to slow down and play at their pace, but a shot comes out. First Killer just off of target.
Chronic there for a little bit of a follow-up, but I think this
is
another...
what? Ooh, that was a little spicy.
Yeah. A little bit of the story of like the game of shot attempts here. Birds and the Bees feeling it, almost doubling Tequeño's shots on goal with this game. So, yeah, great response. Afterthought struggled to sort of adapt. Birds and the Bees, with their experience, has been able to pick it up a little bit quicker and adjust. Now, 40 seconds remaining. Birds and the Bees maintain that 2-0 lead here. First Killer tries to get something happening here. Hawkster has been great on defense, able to bust up these Tequeño plays, and now he's carrying this one all the way. Meets Chronic on that orange half. We'll see if Chronic can get something going. Going high up here, First Killer gonna meet that one. But Hawkster again with the touch to keep the play alive, and Ajax wanting that hat trick, doesn't find it on that play. Time dwindling down, now only 10 seconds remaining, and things are looking grim for Tequeño in this game at the very least. We'll have to see. I mean, again, they can make the adjustment. We know they've got it in them. That's going to be game going to Birds and the Bees, game 3 there. So moving on to game 4, Birds and the Bees with the potential to tie the series up at 2-2. But, man, these two teams are finding, Birds and the Bees has been doing a great job of finding the opening and kind of forcing Tequeño out of their comfort zone a little bit. So, great stuff from them. Which
is kind of odd because it doesn't seem like Tequeño has a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which, right? I mean, they play so loose, but that said, I mean, Birds and Bees, you would think some gnarly structure would force Tequeño to kind of back off, but it doesn't seem to be working that way. Tequeño, they went down this game, or the last game, I should say, as we move into game 4 here. But Birds and Bees, I'm expecting more speed out of them. We haven't seen a whole lot of like passing plays. We haven't seen anything real technical come out of them.
Right.
They're not that they're playing basic Rocket League or anything. They're playing it very well, but I've seen these guys play some absolutely gnarly Rocket League before, and gnarly pro-style Rocket League, very organized and very structured.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing that this series. I'm kind of wondering if they need to change gears just a little bit and get those pass plays going, get something a little different than Tequeño's seen, and that might trip him up just a little bit. His first killer sets up Joe Freshness. Joe Freshness backs off. Chronic is right there. Rolled is, credited with a save, so that was on target. As Joe Freshness again sets up first killer. Rolled is right there again. Oh, Rolled is, you monster, you.
Yeah, he is controlling Tequeño right now for sure. And maybe not even necessarily, shutting down their gameplay, but they've recognized the angles or the plays that seem to be Tequeño's most comfortable or the most go-tos, and they're just able to adjust. Joe Freshness with the save. Shot by Ajax there. Ball cleared out. Freshness trying to carry this one up. First killer. Can he get a follow-up? Nothing there. Hoxer breaking that one up a little bit. First killer coming back down with it.
Oh,
Chronic
right
now
down
having
Main
to
Street.
race back. Yeah. Good job of Joe Freshness. Again, like you mentioned, kind of keeping that home base safe for Tequeño as Birds and the Beez start putting up a little bit more of a fight here. A little bit more back and forth. You can tell both teams trying to... I think Birds and the Beez look a little bit more structured, like you mentioned, but you can tell that Tequeño is struggling to find that same groove that they were in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, it does kind of seem to kind of fall away as time wears on, and then it'll come back out of nowhere as Hoxer moves this one past Chronic. Can he get the double? No. Ajax elected to back off. Rolled is going high on this. Oh, this is dangerous, but First Killer and Joe Freshness working together to get the clearance there as Rolled is flies up to slow it down. That lets Hoxer and Ajax get involved as Chronic right down. Chronic playing super forward right into the net. A beautiful angle.
Chronic cherry picking on that one, finding that goal, but that's going to be Tequeño getting on the board first. And like I said, I think that opens up a lot for him, especially for First Killer. There's something about it, just the way he plays looks so much more open when they're ahead. So maybe a little bit of that mental game. Like, yeah, Rocket League can get mechanical and technical for days, but you got to think about the player behind the sticks at the same time. Oh, Rolled is making it happen for Birds and the Beez.
Right here, Hoxer just popping this up, gets it past Joe Freshness. Chronic realizing that he needs to get involved. First Killer trying to defend the net, but he couldn't get set up in time. Just went a little deep into his setup. That could have been beautiful, but he got a little anxious on defense. It happens from time to time, and Tequeño can bounce back from this as we're coming up here on halftime. Birds and Beez and Tequeño both tied up here at 1. And so it just seems like everybody is challenging everything. As First Killer takes on Ajax. Ajax right there looking for Roldis, but it's going to send it too far out there as a pinch comes out. Ajax moving towards the net. It'll be Joe Freshness looking for First Killer in the corner. That popped up, looking for Joe again, but Roldis gets involved. This is off of the backboard. Nobody really there to take advantage of that, so Ajax will wait for the touch to move towards him. It'll be Joe. Can't get past Diz. Hoxer is up for this, but First Killer is right there off the backboard. Joe Freshness on the layover touch, looking for First Killer in the midfield, but not going to happen. Rolled is moving this one towards the corner. It's still not going to work. Had a bit of a stalemate here on the orange side as Hoxer knocks this down. Ajax is right there, and Chronic shuts him down. That was a beautiful touch for the clearance.
Wow. Yeah. Man, the way Birds and the Beez is playing just looks so much more solid. It looks like they know what to expect out of Tequeño. Like nothing's going to surprise them now, even if, Chronic or First Killer manage to sneak something by them. It seems to not be rattling them. As they get aggressive here, Ajax with the demo onto Freshness. Now just about a minute 30 remaining. Score remains tied up at 1-1 as Birds and the Beez and Tequeño continue to battle back and forth. And I think it's a time of time spent on which side of the field, much more even now as Chronic tries to get in there, sneak something by and just force something to happen. Gonna be Freshness off this corner, diving down. Tries to get a shot in, his First Killer there to follow anything up. No, Ajax now, a little bit of a flick towards Hoxter. Is this an open net? It is!
I like this play right here. Hoxer had a great idea. Didn't have much of a play on it, so he just zooms ahead. Ajax kind of faking the pass here. Hoxer looking for someone to bump. Joe Freshness wasn't going to get there in time. Chronic on the miss And a bit of a misplay there by Tequeño opens up the lead here for Birds and Bees with just about a minute left. So Tequeño have their work cut out for him. They are looking to go 3-1 in this series, whereas Birds and Bees trying to tie up the series at 2-2. It's a very close matchup here as Chronic moves this one down the pitch. He's going to go off the sidewall, try to get a little control on it, but Hoxer does not allow that at all. Pass over to the center. Rolled is, it's just a bit of a miss. First Killer racing for the boost. Doesn't allow Hoxer to get it, but that leaves it open for Chronic, and Rolled is to challenge as Hoxer towards the net. It's off of the post. Joe Fresh is involved. First Killer gets there just in time, and now Ajax towards the backboard. Joe Fresh is barely getting enough on it. Rolled is, and it's going to go wide, and everybody takes a breath.
First Killer now.
That one down towards the other side, sets up for Chronic here. And now, oh my God, everyone take a breath and get off the edge of your seats, because that was some intense play there, but just about 15 seconds left. Tequeño, one more chance. Ajax shuts it down. Wow. The dagger here for this game as Chronic moves this one down the pitch. It's not going to work. World is just keeping this one alive. First Killer and Chronic racing for it. They see Ajax. The ball might die out here. Yes, it will.
Wow.
Birds and Bees tie Chronic up this here. See Ajax. Ball tie up. Absolute insanity here in the grand finals.
Wow. Yeah, the Birds and the Bees holding true, able to bring it back against Tequeño, taking a little bit of wind out of their sails there. And now it's tied up 2-2. In this grand finals again. Man, all of these matches today have seemed to just be so close, so evenly matched, just the back and forth, but Birds and the Bees looking really solid. Looks like they've kind of figured out Tequeño a bit, or at least might know how to shut down that play style that they've been going for. And yeah, while you said it might not be necessarily overly technical, sometimes it's just the basics, the fundamentals, just staying steadfast against what Tequeño's throwing at you that might be breaking them up. So we're going to have to see now going into game number 5 here, which way this one's going to go, because Tequeño definitely needs to pick it up. Birds and the Bees has answered back with a resounding, we can handle what you're throwing at us. But First Killer and Chronic can be so explosive, they just might need to make a little tweak as well, and Tequeño's right back in it.
And I think Joe Freshness maybe needs to get involved a little bit more on the offense as well. Birds and Bees are expecting Chronic and First Killer to be there, and so they're looking for him. As Joe Freshness starts to get involved, I think could just be the mix-up just enough for Tequeño to kind of break through and take the lead in the series. Whereas, Birds and Bees they've loosened up quite a bit. Yeah, their spacing is a little off, and they're not quite used to something like this, but they're making it work, and that's what the great teams can do. They play with the hand that they are given, and this is the hand. This is it. Birds and Bees trying to solidify a lead here in this series, and we're just about 45 seconds in to Game 5 here at Manfield, one of my favorite arenas. Although Manfield Knight infinitely better. Chronic off of the backboard. World does knock this one down right to First Killer. Perfect ball prediction there as Hoxer pops that one out. Nice, long, clear, bit of a line drive as Chronic pops this one back up. It'll be Ajax knocking it down, looking for Hoxer, but Chronic is right there straight to Rolled is. First Killer on the demo, though, and that's going to open it up for Joe Freshness. Joe to first. Not going to work. Ajax is there. That pops it up here for Hoxer. Kind of an impromptu play here as Rolled is under Chronic, but First Killer rotates in nicely for the defense.
Yeah, I think it's like the takeaway here, the lesson learned is it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like Birds and the Bees, you can have a game plan going in. You can know what you're looking for. Is that one going to find the net? It is. Hoxer with the long range snipe there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you can just make something happen. Like you said, take what you get. And Hoxer takes all of that one.
I guess you guys got a sample of Robo Ninja. There you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's
you just became one with the car for a bit. That's all. You were You were the kit to the Knight Rider. I think. I was the
Ninja Octane.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
First Killer. That would have been gnarly, but Roldiz does get in the way just enough. Chronic predicting well. Ajax right there to send that one away. Beautifully done by Ajax. A good prediction.
Yeah, good stuff there. I mean, Birds and the Bees seems to just be covering it well. Whoa! Yeah,
the pre-jump by First Killer was insane. Umpty net.
Oh, man. Hoxer seems to be a bit of that X factor. We see two goals out of him again here. Finds the net on this one. He's been a great answer and a solid answer to the Tequeño fury that was happening in game 1 and 2. And a solid 2-goal lead now for Birds and the Bees as they threaten to now go up 1 game against Tequeño.
And they could do it for sure. I mean, we saw it in them there in game 3, I think it was, where they were trying to get there. They couldn't quite score a goal that time, and then the next game, of course, they win that. Now they have some momentum, and they're going to try to use it to their advantage. And it seems like Tequeño haven't really been able to get any pass plays going. As rolled is off the backboard, it bounces, but it's just too much angle for that particular play. As Joe Freshness pops this one up, that sets up Ajax. First killer right there, but so was Chronic. Sends that one away a little bit as rolled is using the Dominus hood to slap that one at Hoxer. And now it seems like they're just kind of killing time. It looks like Joe Freshness might be having a little bit of an issue, but it seems like it's corrected now. As rolled is can't quite make anything happen here. And yeah. I think that was a little bit of sportsmanship on Birds and Bees side. It did kind of look like Tequeño was having some issue of some kind, possibly a controller issue. As Hoxer pass first killer, can he get a touch? Wow. He does. Oh, he just slams it right in front of Chronic. That was brutal.
Yeah. He kind of asserted his dominance on that play.
But he's driving Octane.
Well, the pass. I just thought of the pun. I wanted to use it. We'll make it happen. I just wanted to call dibs on it. All right. We'll make it. But yeah, but the turnaround from Birds and the Bees, regardless, crazy. I mean, they just played solid through it. Like they weathered the storm in a way, and they figured it out. So now they're sitting less than 2 minutes remaining, game 5, and they find themselves up 3 goals against Tequeño. So Hoxer, I think, has been a big part of that, but rolled this as well, and there he is, getting on the board too.
What? Rolled is coming in from the center. He's expecting the pass from Hoxer, but Hoxer looks like he just went a little bit too far past it. Chronic was there, but Rolled is just going for it anyways. That right there is just Dominus things.
Yeah, I should have saved the pun. Man, that would have been perfect.
You know, next time.
There's always next time. Yeah.
It's Dominus. There's always next time.
There's always next time. I love it. Minute 30 left, though, and this one's looking like a bit of a wash for Tequeño, but yeah, they're going to have to find themselves. They need an answer. And like you mentioned, Joe Freshness getting a little bit more involved on offense. There he tries to. We see a follow-up from First Killer, but that's going to be Roldez and Ajax going up for it. Chronic with the pass. Can Joe Freshness get the touch? A little bit of misaligned.
Yeah, but that's going to build a little bit of momentum here for Tequeño as Joe Freshness still involved. I love it right here. Showing some tenacity. Not allowing himself to be bullied and trying to take his team on to his roof. Joe Freshness, I think he was looking for a pass. First Killer just wasn't there. Just lost a little bit of control on this as Chronic and First Killer go up for this. They need to communicate a little bit better. They're used to playing so freely as Ajax can't find the angle there. Just found himself in the wrong place, wrong time. Joe Freshness looking for First Killer, but Hoxer right there on the coverage. 4-0 here. Birds and Bees showing why they belong in the position they are in as Roldez is going to pop that one down. Let's make it 5.
Man, yeah, Tequeño definitely struggling. Only 2 shots this entire game. About 20 seconds left on the clock, and they've only had 2 solid attempts. So Birds and the Bees showing them why they made it all the way to this grand finals. And while Tequeño has certainly we've seen some great gameplay out of them, maybe a little bit of the experience of Birds and the Bees holding true here. Maybe just a couple of different adjustments needed out of Tequeño, but yeah, I think the story is like when they can't get anything going, such a huge momentum play style that Tequeño seems to employ. When that momentum is stopped, they seem to struggle finding it again. Joe Freshness tried to go up for that one. Ball is going to die there, and Birds and the Bees now find themselves up 3-2 over Tequeño. Birds and the Bees just need one more.
Just need one more, and they take home the biggin.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Tequeño, they're showing signs of life. We're seeing shots come out. We're seeing, Joe Freshness not backing down. He's not allowing First Killer and Chronic to get in their heads. Look, Joe Freshness hadn't even readied up yet. Usually players ready up so quickly, and Joe is going ham on these guys.
Yeah.
He's got to be fired up.
Yeah.
After the play that he had in the last minute and a half of that game right there, it's obvious. He is fired up. He knows that they are so close to the big prize that they don't want to let it go.
Right. They're on the edge. They're right there. I mean, goal line's in sight. They've fallen back a little bit, but we saw it, game 1 and game 2. They've got it in them. They just seem to have trouble adjusting to the answers that Birds and the Bees have given them. So yeah, he's got to be pumped. Bring these guys up a little bit. Make sure their head stays in the game. Make sure they're motivated. It ain't over till it's over. Let's keep it going. Let's get into game number 6.
Right. Birds and Bees trying to close out the series and the tournament. Tequeño need 2 more. They need this one. Force the game 7. After such a strong start in the beginning of the series, we move into game 6 on Urban Central again. Both teams fairly even in the last time we were here. But they got their work cut out for them. Joe Freshness can't take on Ajax at this particular juncture, so Ajax airing it out. First Killer is there to meet him. Actually bumps into Ajax. That's enough to send the ball towards the side of the goal. As Chronic moves it on down. Going to leave that one for Hoxer. Roldiz coming off the ceiling. I thought that might be a pass play. It just kind of fell apart there. As Ajax stops that pass from coming through. Joe Freshness playing up. Now Roldiz keeping this one off to the middle as Chronic can't get that second touch. It was awkward plays for sure. But you can see Tequeño starting to free up a little bit. They're bringing a little freestyle action in on it. And Chronic on the open. That's a big miss by Ajax. And Tequeño find themselves on the board here in the first minute.
All right, there we go. Tequeño answering back. Good stuff out of Chronic. You read it. You called it. Their play style was looking a little bit more free, a little bit more like themselves, and it led to that solid goal there. So they're going to find themselves on the board first. Now it's on Birds and the Bees to be able to answer. Just about a minute has expired here in game number 6 as we see Ajax coming up. Joe Freshness trying to meet him in the middle. Chronic with the touch. Roldiz popping it straight up at midfield. And we see Hoxer again trying to make something happen. A little bit of a pass coming out here. And just sort of that tough angles and tough to get any momentum going on that one. But Ajax following through, gets the ball across. First Killer with the touch, the clear out. Roldiz now trying to catch up to it.
First Killer gets there just in time, sets up for Joe Freshness, trying to pop this down. Ajax is right there. Super patient play there right on the line. As Hawks are trying to get involved, they bump into each other. Roldiz towards the net. It's First Killer on the save. Beautifully done. Just absolutely slammed that boost button. Sends it all the way to the other side as Hawks are on the pickup. Joe Freshness meets him right in the middle. It'll be Ajax coming off the backboard. First Killer meets him as well. Still keeping it on the offensive end is Tequeño with the 1-goal lead at this particular point. Roldiz to Hoxer. Joe Freshness gets right involved. Joe Freshness is not letting this slip between his fingers. He will not give up the grip that he has on this tournament. Joe, First Killer
really find it.
Get there in time. First Killer does sneak one by, and there they go. The 2-goal lead.
There we go. Tequeño back in it. That's the game 1 and game number 2 Tequeño for sure. They're freed up. They're playing their game. They're out there having a good time. Let's go. So we'll see if Birds and the Bees can answer back. They did it in the mid-series, but now they've got to close this one out. Again, Birds and the Bees just needs one more game. Tequeño needs this one to force the game 7. First place taking home $1,500. Both of these teams absolutely fighting for it. And here comes First Killer. Trying to make something happen, gets a little bit of a touch here. Roldiz clears it out. Chronic now sends it back in his direction. And here comes Chronic. Joe Freshness now on that offensive end, but it's going to be Ajax breaking it up. Roldiz on the back line. Into the orange half. A little bit of a slowdown. Both teams trying to make something work here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see Birds and Bees are actually starting to leave a man towards the offensive end or at the midfield, looking for the pass, looking for the speed plays. First Killer knocks this down to Chronic. Ajax challenges that one nicely. First Killer right there, though. Hoxer has to race back, and it looks like there's going to be some time. Birds and Bees will regroup. Thought Hoxer was going to go for Ajax off to his left, but he didn't go for it. Joe Freshness tries to carry this one through. Sets up Chronic, and it's just off target. And that's enough for Tequeño to keep the play alive, and it will give them that momentum that they need. Down to First Killer. Looking for Joe again. Oh my God.
Wow.
That would have been amazing. It was beautifully done. You can see that they're now just playing with it. They're having some fun, trying something different. You don't normally see this stuff in competitive Rocket League. You see this stuff in free play.
Yeah.
They don't care, and it's beautiful.
The air-to-air pass, the air-to-air goal, that would have been insane. And the fact they're even attempting it right now is just great. That's what they need to be doing. They were having so much fun in Game 1 and Game 2. Just keep it up. Yeah, so one thing I do like, though, too, is Tequeño seems to be taking their touches a little bit differently. Not every. I think they've maybe realized that not every touch has to be super offensive. Sometimes they're just stalling it out. They're mixing it up a little bit more, changing up their pace, and then getting aggressive when they need to.
Here we go.
First kill off the backboard. Chronic nails it down.
Oh,
no!
First killer. First killer saves his own teammate's shot. What is going on here? Hoxer now has a chance. He's popping it up, juggling it a little bit. That should set up Roldiz. Roldiz towards the net, and it goes in. 34 seconds left. I'm wondering if First Killer has got that grin on his face, like, I just screwed up. Oh, dang it.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, but when something like that happens, it's best to have that smile on your face. Don't let it get to you. Yeah, a little bit of a mess up, but could be worse. You still got 1-goal lead, but Birds and the Bees now keeping it alive. About 30 seconds left to play. They need a goal, and they need it fast. Hoxer tries to make something happen off the break. Roldiz flying in for some action. Here's Chronic with the touch, met with Hoxer, though, and gets that ball downfield.
Chronic, yeah, he's just going to roll. No, actually, he does miss on that play. Can't quite pull the First Killer angle. Joe Freshness just keeping this one on the offensive end. It's Ajax, dunked on by Chronic, but they do have one last chance. First Killer keeping this one up, trying to knock it down. Hoxer gets there just in time. It's off the corner, but First Killer will let that one go. And Tequeño tie up the series. We are 3-3, and we are moving to Game 7.
A Game 7 between Tequeño and Birds and the Bees. And man, that is exemplified right there. The job doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes you just need to get the job done. And Tequeño gets it done in keeping their first place dreams alive. Like you said, we got a Game 7 here in the Astronauts 3v3. Let's go.
I want to see all of your hype emotes in the chat. If you don't have a hype emote, just type hype in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Or type it.
Or get one. Whatever you want to do. All I want to do is see some hype in the chat, because this one has gone down to the wire. Birds and Bees kind of figured themselves out, figured out how to take on Tequeño. And now Tequeño has answered. Birds and Bees gonna have to reel this one in if they want to win this now, and they can. They've proved it. They won 3 in a row. When we thought they were down and out, they came back with a 5-0 at Manfield. Now we move on to the classic. It's DFH Stadium for Game 7. Birds and Bees versus Tequeño. Frank, who you got, man? You got one game.
Dude, I want to see Tequeño do it because I'm so excited by it. Like, their play style is so exciting. It's something fresh. It's something, a little bit different from the standard. So, Tequeño has won my heart tonight, if anything else. They might not get first place, but right now they're first place in my heart. As Chronic tries to get aggressive with it, has to get it by Roldiz, but Roldiz going to stop that one. Freshness on the follow-up. Nothing there. Scrambling a bit to find some positioning, but here comes First Killer. Ajax, though, in the way. Going to be thwarting that one, and Roldiz with the save on the attempted shot. And here's Ajax now on the opposite end, but Freshness, that backbone, letting the boys, First Killer and Chronic, style a bit. But, of course, he's found himself on the offensive end a bit here as well. But I think this might have been the X factor for Birds and the Bees. Hoxter tries to get up there for it, but doesn't find the touch he was looking for. Now here comes Freshness. Can he float this one in or get something off the backboard? Nothing there. So about a minute has passed here. Tequeño looks just as fiery. Looks like they're ready to close this one out. But Birds and the Bees definitely putting up the Iron Curtain, as has just not let Tequeño get their game going.
First Killer going to knock this one down. It's Hoxer towards the corner again. Both Chronic and Joe Freshness are back. Pass over to First Killer, and that pops it right up. Stops Birds and Bees in their tracks just for a minute. First Killer again right up there. Chronic will rotate back out as Hoxer stops this one up. Joe Freshness is up. You might see a shot from him, but Ajax gets in the way. Good interception. Sets up Hoxer. Moving this one towards the net, thinking that it is empty, but no. Both First Killer and Chronic are there waiting in the wings as Chronic takes one for his transgressions against Birds and the Bees, and a risky save, but it works out well.
Yeah, you saw the determination in Joe Freshness just approaching that ball, missed the touch, and then, yeah, huge save there on Tequeño. Great defense out of them now, being able to answer a bat back a bit when
First
they
Killer
kind of
in the corner.
Risks. First Killer, Freshness, follow up, nothing.
Easy, buddy, easy.
I know, it's too much. I'm gonna have to get my heart checked after this one. Not only have I consumed too much caffeine, but this gameplay certainly isn't helping. My heart is racing, it is pounding. Tequeño is making this one interesting.
Yeah, Chronic trying to take on Ajax. Hoxer's right there, gets in the way nicely. We're coming up here on halftime here in Game 7. Nobody has scored for those who may not be near their computers but can hear it, as Roldiz stopped by Chronic. That's a big one as Hoxer. Oh, Hoxer doesn't get the touch. Chronic has to pounce on it. Joe Fresh is right there as well, but Chronic will score this one. Hoxer just could not recover in time. This is a big one right at halftime.
And big stuff out of Chronic. Chronic kind of always leaves that insurance policy there. That time they doubled it up. Freshness was following him right behind him to try to force that one in any way necessary. Right at halftime, Tequeño finds themselves up 1-0 against Birds and the Bees. And here comes Chronic again. Ajax meets him though. First Killer with the touch. Not going to be able to follow up, but Freshness here. Trying to slow this one down, allow Chronic and First Killer to get in position. We'll see if they can set something up here. Chronic and yeah. No, I don't even know what to expect, what to happen. You take it. I need a minute.
You need a break? Need a break? All right, so coming off the backboard here, Chronic, that's a great clear. You got just about 2 minutes. It'll be Roldiz. Setting this one up, Ajax into the corner. Possible pass to Hoxer, but Chronic reads it well. First Killer coming out of the corner again. Roldiz looking for a center. Ajax was on the wrong side, though. As Joe Freshness trying to take advantage of this, possibly extend the lead. It's not going to work this time. Roldiz right there, but so is Ajax. Sends it to the other side. Hoxer chasing this one down. Joe Freshness there to challenge. Right back into that same corner. It's back and forth action between both teams. First Killer, Roldiz will win this. Joe Freshness stops it up. First Killer might have a chance here, but he's hassled by Ajax, just getting checked left and right. Beautifully done here. Aggressive play, but it's properly aggressive. It's not necessarily going for the demo, but sometimes just the stop up is enough. The
Chronic again
might work. It's not going to work this time. First Killer goes high, and it's off the crossbar. We go in, and it's 2-0 here for Tequeño.
I love it. The persistence out of Chronic there, tries to go for it again, but he's got the First Killer in the back pocket. Gonna dagger that one in. Now just barely over a minute remaining. Birds and the Bees find themselves down 2 goals to Tequeño. We saw them taking their time in that pregame lobby a little bit, composing themselves, and it's paid off for them there. They were able to collect themselves, come into this Game 7, and find themselves up 2 goals. So now Birds and the Bees has to make something happen, and they have to make something happen quick. As First Killer finds himself on offense yet again, Joe Freshness there to defend, maybe the possible knock-up. Hoxter for the intercept, wants to change the course of that one. And here comes Roldiz. He's seen some great goals out of him before. Can he set something up here? Ball gonna get cleared out though. Yeah, it's tough. Under 30 seconds now. Birds and the Bees in dire straits.
I don't know. I don't think Birds and Bees have an answer tonight. Although that was a great pinch clear here. Send that one away. They have to score like right now. It's just that Tequeño has taken control. It's off the crossbar. First Killer right there, and that right there is what's known as the dagger.
First Killer with the daggers on Birds and the Bees. The wildlife population took a hit tonight as First Killer dials that one in. 3-0 now for Tequeño. Man, I'm excited. I love what I'm seeing. The First Killer, Chronic, and Joe Freshness trio is so much fun to watch, and boy did they make it interesting. Taking it all the way to a Game 7. Let's roll another one in just for good measure.
Yeah, that's kind of the way this play just worked out, really. I mean, you know, Chronic was kind of going for it, and First Killer was right there. I mean, yeah, they were more or less just keeping control of the ball, and yeah, it made its way into the net. I really don't think they meant to necessarily score that. I think they more or less wanted to kill it. But, you know, a 4-0 scoreline for Tequeño will work for them. And Look, be on the lookout for these guys. Tequeño, it's a unique name. First Killer seems to have found a great partner, two great partners actually, in Joe Freshness and Chronic. Joe, a little bit of a more reserved player and able to read a play and get involved right when he needs to get involved. Chronic has that same sort of free mentality. He just wants to get involved and just, he's not trying to be the cool guy. He's just being himself and he doesn't care. The same with First Killer. And those two gel on offense, and then when they get on defense, Joe Freshness is right there to keep the play alive, allow either First Killer or Chronic to get back, get some boost going, and allow the play to keep going. They can be an offensive powerhouse, but when it's time to defend, they're right there. It's beautiful. This is a great team. I hope they don't break up. I hope they make their way into the RLCS one day. Seriously, beautifully done.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those nights where you finish up a grand final, it went all the way to a game 7, and you kind of know you saw something maybe just a little bit special. You mentioned how the gameplay was different. They weren't so reliant on the rules, I would say, or they just kind of, it was free form. It was like watching jazz happen, but in Rocket League form. They just went with it. They made something happen. And it was just great stuff. I mean, shout out to the Birds and the Bees. It looked like they had them dialed in a little bit towards the middle. They're not a poor team at all. Like you mentioned, they've had so much experience. They're solid. Team. They're solid.
They're a great team.
Tequeño was just able to throw that curveball at them. They had it figured out for a minute, but Tequeño held strong. So doubly so, props to them.
And if we were to play that same series, say, a couple of days from now, we still wouldn't be able to predict it. I think Birds and Bees, they're right there. Both of them are just so close. And I think this right here shows the parity between the, this isn't an insult, but second tier, non-RLCS teams. But if you were to throw either of these two teams up against, pick an RLCS team, they definitely give that RLCS team a run for their money, if not beat them.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
It's so fun to watch because, you see it in them. You see that spark. You see that something special. You see that they've got what it takes. And it's all here, in the Astronauts. It's so cool. I love it. But yeah, that's going to do it. That's that game 7. That was insane. I love it. Ninja Rider, where can people follow you? Do a little plug, and then I'm going to throw we got a little bit of an announcement at the end. So you take it away, and then I'll close it out.
All right, so you can find me on Twitter at Ninja Rider RL. I've been streaming a little bit too, so you can find me on the Twitches, just straight Ninja Rider. That's pretty much also, actually.
That's it. Find you there. One-stop shop.
The other thing. Yeah, pretty much.
Search
for Ninja Rider somewhere.
Perfect. Yeah. So, guys, here's a little bit of that teaser. So, upcoming tournaments next month, we're adding on. It's something a little bit different, something very exciting, and you're gonna want to be in the loop on that one. And that's really all I can say. But to be in the loop, be sure to follow Team Beyond on Twitter. That's at Team Beyond Net. That's where you can get the latest news, updates, all that stuff. And again, teambeyond.net, of course, is the URL. In addition to that little teaser, we've, of course, got just a couple days left for the Beyond August giveaway. And what that is it's your chance to win. Well, what can you win? Like we mentioned earlier, there's that Astro C40 TR controller. There's a Logitech G502 Lightspeed mouse, a Logitech G513 mechanical keyboard, a Logitech PowerPlay mousepad, and a ViewSonic XG2701 27-inch monitor, all up for grabs. So again, head on over to that Twitter. That's at Team Beyond Net, where you can find everything, all that information, and be sure to keep a lookout for that announcement coming up next month. But guys, I think that's going to do it for tonight. What a great night of Rocket League 3v3 action here with the Astronauts. But I'm going to need a little break after that one. I'm going to sleep well tonight. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for watching. Peace.